Well, good afternoon. It's a fairly crisp winter or December day. The last time I was out on the bike was actually sufficiently warm to have all the vents open on the jacket. Not so much today. I think we'll probably be keeping everything on. I'm not wired up for the winter, so it isn't quite as extreme today as it needs to be. It says 11 degrees on there, so I'm not bothering so much with actually plugging in my heated waistcoat. Let's close that up, but it's there if I need it. So yeah, thinking very much about we've finally got sound on the sat nav. Yeah, so we're oh, he's shouting at me. So the sat nav shouting at me anyway. I don't know if you pick up any of that or not, but yeah, so heading down to Bahnstormer, gonna have another look at the 1300RT. But at the moment I can't see anything that says you definitely need to upgrade your 1250RT for the 1300RT. And in fact there are things that suggest that that would be a really retrograde step to do. So I've been listening to or reading tests and listening to tests on YouTube of people trying the 1300RT. They say it's an excellent bike, which obviously it is, but then they point out that the saddle is actually uncomfortable after a while. Now we all get uncomfortable after a while on a bike on a long ride, but less so with the 1250, which I've always found is actually incredibly comfortable. I won't be an arse today, although behind me wants to. Let's put the screen up a bit. I'll stop it being quite so noisy. So yes, one of the things people have said is that actually it's quite an uncomfortable saddle. My mate Yox, who's half man half pirate on YouTube, well worth watching his channel, he's upgraded his 1250 GS for a 1300, and on his latest video that's something that he said as well on his latest video, that actually it had been quite uncomfortable. I was going to go where that Tesla's gone, but everyone's moving over now. So if you're going to have a touring bike, you want to have a comfortable saddle without having to replace it. I mean, I've got this one, you can see from the dash, I don't know if you can see the dash, but I've got the heated handlebars on at 3, which is the most that you really are comfortable, I'm comfortable with, even with these summer gloves that I always wear. They're waterproof, but they are summer gloves. But with the heated grips, you don't need a hefty pair, certainly not down to about 5 degrees at least. And I've turned the heated seat on, and it's currently sitting there at 5. I can just feel it getting toasty now. But yeah, you don't want to be in a situation where you're thinking after 2 or 3 hours, I need to get off because I'm uncomfortable, because that defeats the whole object of buying a tourer. If I wanted to be uncomfortable, I'd still be on a sports bike. You know, I did 1,000 miles in about 18 hours or slightly less around Scotland one year, back in 2010, on a far blade. And that was a cracking bike, and actually wasn't all that uncomfortable, other than the usual issue with your wrists, you know, and that was, apart from that, absolutely fine. You know, why would you want to cripple yourself with an uncomfortable bike? And it's ridiculous that BMW have now fitted a saddle to their touring machine which is uncomfortable. It beggars belief. The other issues that I have with that bike is that they've tried to slim it down from the frontal aspect, because there's no doubting this is a very wide bike. Certainly when you look at it from the front, you can see there's a lot of fairing, and even from this view you can see it's quite plastic fantastic at the front here. But then again, that's one of its strengths and one of its weaknesses. When we went to the south of France, or we went to Spain, South France, Switzerland, Luxembourg, and then through Belgium into France last year, if anything, the fairing was too efficient, because when it was in the low to mid 30s, as it actually was, it was incredibly hot, and we just couldn't cool down. Everything was unzipped and open, but we just couldn't cool down because there wasn't enough airflow, because the fairing was so efficient. Now that's all very well and good, and the new one has got a more narrow fairing, but part of the issue we've got with that is that they've also taken a lot of the useful cubby holes off. So I don't know if you can see down there, but to the left you've got the... That's bloody noisy, that jack. To the left you've got the lockable... That's actually on the central locking compartment down there, just below the speaker blank. And I use that for some earplugs, as well as a pair of sunglasses to wear when I'm off the bike. It's all very well to get on the bike with your dark visor, but once you're off the bike you want to also be not squinting, so I've got a pair of sunglasses in there. And then the other side, on the right side here, in the same sort of location but on the other side, is the locking compartment, which is also got the power for your phone and your and it's cooled as well. There's a fan that blows in there when it gets too warm, so that your iPhone doesn't get over hot. So as I say, I've been very impressed with all the storage. The 1300RT only has one central box across the top with the power. I'm not sure if it's vented or not, but again, you are losing a fair bit of storage space, which I can't understand on a touring bike. So I still probably need to have a proper test ride on one, just to see if it is worth consideration. But at the moment, I've got, it's not as though I'm running out of, that I've knackered this one and I've got many thousands of miles on the clock, because I haven't. It's still in great condition, other than the scratch, or the scratched up cylinder head from that incident with the road sweeper in Cannes. But it's a very good bike to ride. you know, here I am. It's now, oh, it's gone up. Is it gone up or down? I can't remember now. 12 degrees. And it's quite a windy day. I'm sitting here in peace behind my fairing. And my bum's nice and warm in just a pair of jeans. These are just Levi 501s as always. They're not armoured jeans or anything. And I say, I've got an unlined jacket on. This climb latitude is not lined. That's what you have base layers for. I've got a Kais heated waistcoat which isn't plugged in or turned on, so it's just the waistcoat. A little long sleeve shirt on, not a proper work shirt, long sleeve shirt. And then I've got some EDS or EDZ, I don't know if it's EDS or EDZ base layer, because it's all about layering up, and I'm absolutely toasty really. Maybe not toasty, maybe toasty's over exaggerating it, but I'm certainly comfortable. There's no need for anything else. Don't really think I need a dynamic today actually while I'm just talking to you guys. Don't need it in rain either. Let's just turn it to road, make it a little bit more bouncy, more comfortable. So the roads, there was some rain overnight. It's supposed to be dry today, but those clouds look a bit threatening, or some of them do. Yeah, it's one of those things. I think they probably hit peak RT with the 1250. It can certainly get a hustle on when you want it. This is an LE, so it's got the, you know, basically all the kit. We've also specified the big top box at the back, and we've also specified it with the adaptive cruise control, which is an absolute godsend. I've had cruise control obviously in my cars for years, and in the Abarth it's got cruise control but not adaptive, and you're constantly having to turn the thing off when you come up behind other traffic, just to temporarily put it on hold, because people without cruise control can't maintain the speed. So I love adaptive cruise control that we've got in the Focus ST Estate, to give it everything, and that's really nice as well, works excellently. This one has its little foibles, and when you do turn it off, it comes off quite brutally, unfortunately, but it works really well. Just move over, let him out. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So as I say, I think peak RT was with the 1250. It's a cracking screen. You can see I've got the BMW connected app connected, which is in itself amazing. I did have to piss about a lot back home to try to get it connected originally. I think it gets confused by other Wi-Fi signals on your phone that it's trying to connect to, preference over this one. But once you're out and about, when I stopped for petrol, it reconnected quite quickly. But as other people have said, like Nothing to Prove, another channel on YouTube, he finds that on a long ride it dips out every couple of hours or whatever, and we found that on all the trips we've done, which is why I've mounted the iPhone up there on a quad lock bracket, powered bracket, rather than having it locked away, just simply so if need be I can fire up Waze or Google Maps or Apple Maps or whatever to give me the missing navigation when the BMW app drops out, which it inevitably will. It's very springy, very boingy when it's on road. So yes, enjoying the ride today. It's not raining. I was going to go out yesterday, but too much on work-wise and everything else. So I thought, well, actually, I've got more time today. So I thought I'd pop out, head down to Bahnstormer, have a cup of coffee, even though they've now started charging you for it apparently, or are going to be charging you for it, which is a pity. Just pull the sun visor down. In case you're wondering, yes, the speed limit is 70. Yes, the speedometer says more than 70. But the truth of the matter is that the RT Speedo, as in most Speedos, overreads when you check it against a GPS. You'll find that it's overreading. I still use the clutch too much, I think, really. Oops. That was one of the things I was thinking about doing, was looking at possibly a bike with an automatic box, or even like the new KTM 1390. That can be spec'd with, it's a manual gearbox but with automatic activation, which is an interesting concept and seems to be not a bad option. BMW on the 1300, the RT and the GS, you can spec it with much more of an automatic box. I'd like to try one because obviously with the missing fingers, one of the problems I have had historically is with them getting trapped, because I can't lift the fingers on my gloves. They get trapped by the lever. That's one of the reasons why you see I've got over here my clutch lever is a short lever, rather than if you look over on the other side, just whip that in so you don't slow down, I've got a normal length brake lever. I say it traps the two fingers that are flapping around the end. I can't even take the two fingers off the glove, purely because that will then make the waterproofing suspect. You know, that'll remove that layer of protection with the waterproof gloves. Because I was going to get some other gloves adapted that way, kept you know, cut off and then sewn up. Because when I had the amputations, I had the option to take them back to the knuckle or even below, a ray, I think they call it a ray amputation. But at that stage I was considering the possibility of putting some prosthetics on there, which I still am open to the thought. So I do have these nubs which protrude a bit from the top of the hand itself, but they're unfortunately not enough to, I say, without the prosthetic, to be able to lift the glove up out of the way when you want to change gear. So I think that would be interesting to try, but again, it's not in itself sufficiently requisite for me, because I'm coping with just these two bad boys down here, which to be fair is what I used to use anyway. You know, when I did all the track stuff, I was still always using the two, and I still do, ride with two fingers on the brake lever and two covering the clutch, just in case. Even though, yes, I was going to say I haven't owned a two-stroke. I did. I had a Kawasaki KH400 for a while. you'd ride with your fingers over the clutch on a two-stroke just in case the engine decided to seize, didn't lock up the back wheel. So you could whip the clutch in and roll. But yeah, as I say, I've been so far extremely impressed by the 1250RT, and I can't see a reason to change it. But I haven't actually tried a 1300. I'm not sure that you'd actually get the full picture from a 1300RT test ride anyway of, I don't know, an hour or two. I think you'd need to have what Bahnstormer did let me have when I first was looking at getting an RT. They let me have one for 3 days, would you believe? And that was a proper test, took it up to Oxfordshire and had a great ride round, and that's one of the reasons why I ended up coming back to Bahnstormer to buy the RT when it came to it. I think I won't be brave and hop across in front of the Lecky car. So there we have it, here we are at Bahnstormer. Nice enough wittering for me. Let's hope I'm not going to get knocked off by the car coming up behind me. I'll catch you another time. See you later.